And we are live for Thursday night. How we doing, everybody? We got a fun one tonight between the Chicago Bears and the Carolina Panthers. It's going to be a fun one, guys. There's as excited as I am with absolute bang of Thursday night game. Reminds me a lot of Thursday night games from last season. The Bears versus the Panthers. We got a fun one tonight. Let me pull up the spread, the over-under for this game tonight. We got a 3.5-point road underdog Carolina Panthers going to Chicago. Over-under is only 38 points tonight. That is not so great. There's going to be some interesting start-sit decisions tonight, though, for sure. Thanks every week for your help. I appreciate it. Sam, let's go. This is going to be a fun one, guys. Go live on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Watch live on YouTube. You watch live on TikTok. Hit the follow button. All right. Always first question. I appreciate you, Alan. We got standard lead here. Is this a Thursday night matchup? Doesn't look like it. I think you're probably going to bench there. No, it's Bucks. Definitely don't love him this week. In a tough matchup there. Another Thursday night one here too. Nick Collins did not practice today. I'm a little concerned if he will even play at all. Always enjoy the lives. You got me 6-3 over the Jordan. Let's go. But guys, people winning record. If you're in the top 3, top 5 years in, it's too early to celebrate. Definitely too early to celebrate like this stuff. Don't check that. It's weird. Let me know if the mic is working now on the YouTube live. Don't know why. Maybe I fixed it. You want to start more? Dell, Devontae, Hayes, no, James, not next. Yeah. YouTube Live, I think I fixed it. We were connected to my headphones far away. Foreman is definitely a must start tonight. He is the guy I'm most excited for. Yeah, it was definitely it was on my mic. I think like probably across the room, and my headphones definitely should be working now. I'm definitely very excited about D'Onta Foreman tonight. Let's see if I can get a question with him. To get to this first comment quickly, I know this isn't a Thursday night comment since the mic wasn't working. I would bench Derrick Henry here, and I think I would bench Nico too. Nico didn't practice today. Derrick Henry, not a great matchup against the Bucks this week. D'Onta Foreman, Javonte Williams, Tyler Boyd, PPR. Yeah, so you cannot bench Javonte Williams this week. Absolutely not. He is really an elite option. Let me pull up the game log here for Javonte Williams to show you why on the YouTube live. But I definitely like Foreman over Boyd this week. There's a lot of Cincinnati Bengal injuries going on right now that make me second guess this a little bit in PPR. T. Higgins picked up a hamstring injury in practice. I would say I lean towards him not playing now, and the Jamar Chase comments from earlier this week have me a little concerned if he's going to play also. But yeah, Javonte Williams, guys, needs to be started. I was looking through the data from last week, and I didn't realize till I saw the game log here in the Walter Picks app, 27 carries for Javonte Williams in week 8. Guys, Javonte Williams is all the way back. There is not very many running backs in the NFL that can get to 27 carries in a game, and absolutely Javonte Williams can do that. And look at the matchup he gets against the struggling Bills defense too. He did this against the Chiefs. He didn't have a huge fantasy today, but 17 points. I think we're going to see a lot more weeks like this from Javonte Williams. I'm really excited about him. Foreman versus Chuba Hubbard. That's definitely the question of the night. And I'm really in on D'Onta Foreman tonight. We're going to cut right to the chase here. I am going to go with D'Onta Foreman over Chuba Hubbard. Walter disagrees with me on this one. Let's actually do this comparison quick in the YouTube live. D'Onta Foreman versus Chuba Hubbard, I believe. Walter's got Foreman just a bit behind Chuba, and Chuba, however you want to pronounce his name. He's definitely going to project better in PPR leagues. Actually, wow, Foreman, this is half PPR. Foreman getting the edge in half PPR, but I bet if I change this to full PPR, this is why the scoring settings matter so much. In full PPR, yeah, Hubbard gets the edge in the Walter Picks app. I'm playing Foreman over Chuba Hubbard in all formats tonight. We got a revenge game here, guys, for D'Onta Foreman. D'Onta Foreman, former Carolina Panther. There is no Khalil Herbert again tonight. He was practicing this week. He's almost definitely going to be back next week. There was a real shot he was going to be back tonight. Not going to happen. So it's D'Onta Foreman, Roschon Johnson. We look at Foreman's usage in the past couple of games. Pretty encouraging. Around a 60% snap share. Last game, 20 carries. And guys, he gets the Carolina Panthers run defense tonight. As bad as both these defenses have been, the Bears have been horrible against running backs, but the Panthers have been worse. The Panthers are allowing the second most points per game to running backs this season. Let me go back to this comparison here and scroll down to the matchups here. And yeah, the Bears, they're a top 10 matchup for running backs, top 6 matchup for running backs this season. The Panthers are the second best possible matchup for running backs so far this season. Foreman's over-under tonight is 60 rushing yards. I think he smashes that prop. That is the free player prop of the night. It is D'Onta Foreman over 61.5 rushing yards. And I'm adding a second one on tonight, over half a touchdown for D'Onta Foreman in this revenge game against a brutally bad Carolina Panthers defense, which is also, by the way, the Panthers defense, which has allowed the second most points per game to running backs this season, also, by the way, is without two of their best defenders in this game. We're 16-4, guys, on these free player props. We're going to 18-4 tonight on the free player props on these live streams. We got people in the comments every single live coming back. What is the free player prop today? And today it is D'Onta Foreman over 61.5 rushing yards and D'Onta Foreman over half a total touchdown. I would be okay going with just half a rushing touchdown. I don't think he gets more than a catch in this game. He's not the best receiver. I actually like his under 1.5 receptions tonight, but I would prefer just to get the half a touchdown rather than half a rushing touchdown where possible. All right. We got Moore versus Foreman. DJ Moore versus D'Onta Foreman. Yeah, if this is a PPR league, it's pretty close. I'm not going to lie. With Tyson Bagent starting again, it's a close call. For me, I think I lean DJ Moore if it's a PPR league still. If it's not a PPR league, though, I think it's okay to go with D'Onta Foreman. Let's do that comparison, actually, quick here. But yeah, I would go Foreman over Chuba Hubbard. I don't hate Chuba Hubbard tonight, though. Definitely in PPR leagues. He's got some legs tonight. I do worry a little bit about Miles Sanders lingering, though. Miles Sanders is very much active in this game. Miles Sanders' snap share went up last week. Miles Sanders was more efficient than Chuba Hubbard last week. He has not been more efficient, though, over the course of this season. And yeah, I think that you got to go DJ Moore in PPR over Foreman. I know DJ Moore's coming off a couple disappointing games here, back-to-back games now under 10 points. Tyson Bagent just tanking DJ Moore's value in fantasy, even against the Chargers, the brutal Chargers secondary. He was not able to do it. The Panther secondary, guys, has not been bad this season. Has not been bad by any means. All right. Hey, Sam, you missed my question earlier because of the mic. PPR, Chuba Hubbard, Madison, James Cook, Garrett Wilson. Yes, you got to go Garrett Wilson here for sure. You got to go Garrett Wilson. PPR league, Garrett Wilson has an extremely high floor and an extremely high ceiling. He's seeing just elite target share numbers. Zach Wilson, honestly, has been a bit better than I think people have realized. I'm not going to play D'Onta Foreman over Pollard. I'm not going to do that. Pollard gets the Giants. Guys, the Cowboys are 16.5-point favorites this week. That is the biggest favorite in any game so far this season. Tony Pollard has the second most red zone touches in the NFL, and he hasn't scored since week 1. I mean, just mind-boggling numbers for how unlucky Tony Pollard has been, how inefficient he's been in the touchdown column. And as a 16.5-point favorite against the Giants, you got to think Pollard gets in the end zone this week. I'm definitely going to play him over Foreman. I do like Foreman a lot tonight, though. Again, I do like him a lot tonight. I would rank the players tonight in PPR in this order. Adam Thielen, number 1. Adam Thielen's got to be started. I would put DJ Moore at number 2, D'Onta Foreman at number 3, and Cole Kmet, probably Chuba Hubbard at number 4, Cole Kmet at number 5. And those guys are all my must-starts for the night. I do like the Bears defense a decent amount tonight. Guys, the Panthers offense has really, really struggled. They have shown very, very little explosiveness this season. All right, I'm starting both Kincaid and Laporta over DJ Moore this week. Yeah, that's just brutal. And I don't think it's that crazy. Both those tight ends actually do have a reasonable floor. Kittle or Kmet, that one's pretty close. Let's see what Walter says about that one. We're live on YouTube and TikTok right now, by the way, guys. on the YouTube Live, I can share my screen, a little bit better of a viewing experience. And we're about to do that comparison on the screen right now between Kittle and Kmet. I think I would lean Kittle. I definitely would assume Kittle has a higher ceiling than Kmet. But Kmet's floor, man, has been pretty good. He's been getting peppered with targets. He's tight end 6 for Walter this week. Tight end 9. Kittle, definitely the floor. Wow, look at these graphs just side by side. Kittle's got actually a slightly lower boom percentage. Wow. This is a slightly worse matchup. Deebo Samuel's going to be back. Let's look at these numbers for Kmet in his last game. A lot of green here for Kmet. Back-to-back games. Cole Kmet's going over 17.5 PPR points. I mean, crazy, crazy numbers here from Kmet. He had 2 TDs last game, last week against the Saints. Massive, massive week. He was the tight end 2 last week in a week that was really, really good for tight ends. Wait, why DJ Moore? Yeah, I still think DJ Moore is a start because of the target volume that he's seeing. As bad as the targets have been, it definitely matters who you're starting him over. I'd maybe put him slightly more in the fringe. Walter has a wide receiver 29. I'd rank him right around wide receiver 30. So back end wide receiver 2. This week, he does have back-to-back games now under 10 points, but he has still seen 11 targets in his last 2 games. Honestly, a little less than I thought I was going to see here in the target column for DJ Moore. But yeah, he's still the clear just top receiver on this team. I do think he is a fine start still in PPR leagues, but hopefully Justin Fields is back soon because Tyson Bagent absolutely tanking his value. Hey, Sam, pick one between Gibbs, Foreman, and Gus Edwards. Yeah, Gibbs is a very interesting one this week, guys. David Montgomery's back. And I know Jahmyr Gibbs has popped off the last couple of weeks. Jahmyr Gibbs, the last time Jahmyr Gibbs played, he was on bye last week. The week before that, he was RB1 that week. But David Montgomery was out. And Gibbs is not going to get the goal line work. I'd still, in PPR, start him over Foreman. I would absolutely start D'Onta Foreman over Gus Edwards. But yeah, I'm going Gibbs over Foreman in PPR. Half PPR, I think it's much closer. I'd still probably lean Gibbs in half. And then a non-PPR, I think I would go Foreman over Gibbs. I don't think you should be trusting Kenneth Walker this week. They get a matchup against the Commanders. Not a horrible matchup on paper, but guys, the Commanders secondary is absolutely atrocious. Terrible. They just traded their best 2 pass rushers. Their secondary already ranked dead last in the league. You got to think this is a big DK Metcalf, big Tyler Lockett, big JSN weekend. On top of that, Kenneth Walker dealing with injuries himself. And then you look at Foreman tonight. And again, guys, I really like Foreman tonight. He's the free player prop of the night. I think you should hop on his props over 61.5 rushing yards, over half a total touchdown for D'Onta Foreman tonight. We are 16-4 on these free player props, and nothing's a guarantee when it comes to betting. But guys, 80% is about as good as it gets this deep into the season. And I got a lot of confidence in him tonight in a revenge game. No Khalil Herbert. Roschon Johnson has barely played in the last couple of games. Foreman's going to get close to 100 total yards and a touchdown tonight. So he's a pretty safe play. I think his floor and ceiling are pretty high. The Panthers are allowing the second most points per game to running backs this season. Guys, let me rattle off some of these running back performances against the Panthers. Last week, JT. By the way, JT's all the way back. If you haven't seen my latest TikTok about 4 running backs you absolutely need to trade for, JT's on that list. JT pops off 18 points last week. He had a receiving touchdown in that game. The week before that, Devin Singletary, Andrew Beck combined for over 12 points. That was like the worst week against the Panthers so far this season. That's Devin Singletary we're talking about. D'Onta Foreman absolutely is better than him. Salvin Ahmed, Raheem Mostert, they combined for 50 points against the Panthers. Craig Reynolds, David Montgomery, they combined for 31 points against the Panthers. Cam Akers, Alexander Madison. We're not talking the elite of the elite here. They combined for 20 points against the Panthers. Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker combined for 35 points against the Panthers. Tony Jones. Guys, Tony Jones, I would argue a high-level practice squad level running back. Week 2 with the Cardinals, he had 16 points against the Panthers. And then all the way back in week 1, Bijan, Tyler Algier, they combined for 50 points against the Panthers. So yeah, you're playing D'Onta Foreman. I'm playing him over James Conner. I'd play him over, Demario Douglas. I would. I'd play him over James Cook. I think that is reasonable as well. There's a good chance Leonard Fournette's active. James Cook not getting the goal line carries, guys. I'm playing Foreman over Madison, absolutely. Madison definitely gets a slight uptick in my eyes with Cam Akers out now, but it sounds like from what the coaches are saying, we're going to get a decent amount of Tyson Chandler, Ty Chandler, not Tyson Chandler. I'm thinking of Tyson Bagent tonight. Ty Chandler is going to fill in the Cam Akers role, which wasn't that significant anyways. But Alexander Madison's floor and ceiling does get a small increase. But yeah, I do think that I'd play Deontay Foreman over him for sure. Now Thursday Night Football question. Deontay Johnson and Javonte Williams for Rachaad White. No, I would not do this. Javonte Williams, guys, he's all the way back. 27 carries last game for Javonte Williams. That is the exact kind of thing I want to see for Javonte. He's coming out of the bye. He has a decent schedule, too. I would take Javonte over Rachaad, I think, straight up, rest of season. And I like Rachaad a decent amount, too. I didn't hear a response, so re-asking. PPR, DJ Moore, Tank Dell, Devontae Adams, Tony Pollard. Pick 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. Yeah, so you're playing Tony Pollard. There's no way around it, guys. You got to play Tony Pollard this week, 100%. I don't think I'd start DJ Moore in this spot. I think I would go Tank Dell and Devontae. I don't love Devontae against the Jets, but this isn't a great matchup for DJ Moore either in comparison to Devontae. So I think I would go Tank Dell and Devontae. With Nico Collins dealing with injuries right now this week in practice. He has not practiced yet this week, Nico Collins. That'd be a pretty big deal for Tank Dell. I think I would go Tank Dell and Devontae here over DJ Moore. I don't hate the DJ Moore props tonight. Let me pull up the lines here for DJ Moore. I think I would probably go with the reception prop if I had to choose one. But I definitely like the Deontay Foreman props more than the DJ Moore props. Pittman or DJ Moore? Yeah, you got to go Pittman over DJ Moore. Deontay Johnson or Moore? Yeah, I'd go Deontay Johnson over DJ Moore too. He's not. I guess DJ Moore's not as much of a must start as I realized looking through some of these starts. It's in the live. All right, let me pull up the props here for DJ. Yeah, over 4.5 receptions. You're getting plus odds on that tonight. Hasn't had less than 3 receptions in the game since week 1. He's got at least 3 receptions in every game so far with Tyson Bagent. I don't hate it. I would take his reception line. I think if I had to choose, you're getting it plus odds on FanDuel right now. His receptions line. Look, I'm pulling it up. I have this up on the Walter Picks Prop Evaluator right now. If you guys haven't checked out the Walter Picks Prop Evaluator, you got to check it out. I'll pull it up on the TikTok Live here too. We're live on TikTok and YouTube. The free player prop, though, tonight, it is Deontay Foreman. Over 61.5 rushing yards. And as an add-on, a little plus odds prop for you tonight, it is Deontay Foreman also over half a touchdown. Foreman has at least 34 yards in 3 of his last 4 games. He's got, at least 34 yards in all of his last 4 games. He's got at least 65 yards in 3 of his last 4 games. They're setting this line at 61.5 against the second worst run defense in the NFL with no Khalil Herbert. I'm taking that. I don't hate the DJ Moore reception props either. And I actually don't hate the Deontay Foreman under receptions line also. Yeah, and I am going Foreman over Chuba Hubbard. This is a revenge game for Deontay Foreman too. You got to think he gets close to 20 carries in this game. Projected to be a low-scoring game. The Bears are also favored in this one, so he should have game script on his side too. They clearly aren't going to trust Tyson Bagent. Not going to matter much longer when Justin Fields returns. Madison, Foreman, or Hubbard. Yeah, I'd go Foreman, then Hubbard, then Madison. I think that's how I'd rate them. Not a great matchup for Madison this week. Chuba Hubbard or Jacoby Myers. I think I would go Chuba over Jacoby. Tough matchup this week for Jacoby against the Jets. Chuba Hubbard or wait for Connor. I'm okay going Chuba Hubbard over Connor. We got to prioritize the Thursday night start hits here, guys. Should I start Foreman or Pittman at my flex? Foreman or Pittman? I think I'd go Pittman in a PPR league. Moore or Mike Evans PPR? I would lean Mike Evans over DJ Moore. There's no NBA picks tonight in the Walter Picks app. Only a 2-game slate. And we don't force things in the app. So, yeah, there's no NBA picks tonight. But we have been hot in the NBA picks in the Walter Picks app. And we, of course, will have more when there's a larger slate coming up, I think, tomorrow. Saquon benchable this week? God, I don't – it depends. There's 2 sides to every start sit. I don't think he's very benchable, though. He could easily get 80% of the touches for the entire Giants team. And we've already seen a game like that. Makes him startable in most spots still. I'm 3-6. I traded Scary Terry, Hollywood, Kamara, Lockett for Kupp, and Eckler. Good trade. I like this trade. Look, I don't love trading away at Kamara, but if you're going to get Austin Eckler in return, I'm for this. And I like trading for Cooper Kupp too. I really think this was a good trade just in general. Also, should I accept I'm giving Gibbs and Higgins, I'm getting Monty and Myers. Pretty fair trade overall. If this is PPR, which I assume it is, I still think I'd prefer Monty over Gibbs rest of season. Myers and Higgins, I think I would take Higgins, but it's tough to know with his hamstring injury now. I might accept that. I think that's pretty close. I would definitely check that in the Walter Picks trade analyzer too. Talk about Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, so let me pull up the game logs here for Chuba Hubbard on the YouTube Live. I do think Chuba Hubbard's a fine start in PPR leagues. I definitely worry about his floor, though, because Miles Sanders, guys, he's one of the higher paid running backs in the NFL. They gave him a big contract this offseason, and he did see his snap percentage increase last week. Chuba Hubbard, though, meanwhile, his snap percentage stayed the same. He's played about 2/3 of the snaps back-to-back games now for the Carolina Panthers. He's had 16 carries in both those games. And, yeah, the route percentage, the targets, pretty elite. 6 targets. Last game, 19% target share, 18% target share. For Chuba Hubbard, in his last game, he ran 70% of the dropbacks for Bryce Young. Chuba Hubbard was running a route. Very elite stuff. So, yeah, PPR leagues, he's definitely in play. I would still play Foreman over him in PPR leagues. I think Foreman has a huge night tonight as a favorite against a really, really bad Panthers run defense. But, guys, the Bears defense is not so great either. I still like them as a fantasy start, the Chicago Bears defense against the Panthers offense. But, yeah, Chuba Hubbard's him, Adam Thielen, the only two Panthers I really want to start tonight. I definitely think you need to start Thielen. I kind of think you should start Chuba Hubbard depending on the options you have. I would start Foreman over Chuba Hubbard, though. And I think I would probably start Hubbard over DJ Moore, though, if I had to choose between those two. I'm playing Godwin over DJ Moore. Jalen Warren, Jahmyr Gibbs, or Deontay Foreman is a close call. I'm definitely playing Deontay Foreman over Jalen Warren. That one's pretty easy. Gibbs versus Foreman, I think, is actually pretty tough. I kind of think you got to go Gibbs with the PPR usage, but it is really close. I do think Foreman is a pretty safe play tonight. Bijan or Brees. Yeah, you got to go Brees. You got to play both, really, but you got to go Brees. A Bijan or Brees, Mixon or Foreman. I'm going Mixon over Foreman. I'm playing Bijan over Foreman also. I would play Rachaad White over Chuba Hubbard. I would play Mixon over Foreman. Yeah, I do like Mixon a lot this week. Definitely think he has a really, really good floor and ceiling too. His usage has been pretty elite as well. Hey, Sam, Thursday game day. We got a Thursday game day going on. A fantastic game tonight between the Chicago Bears and the Carolina Panthers. The over-under is 38, one of the lowest projected scoring games of the week. Pick 2 here. Derrick Henry, David Montgomery, Chuba Hubbard, or Keaton Mitchell, full PPR. Yeah, so I'm excited about Keaton Mitchell, guys, but we cannot force Keaton Mitchell. We can't force it. I'm going to restart the TikTok live real quick, guys. I'm having a little bit of lag on my end. Okay. I think I would rank these guys as David Montgomery first, Chuba Hubbard second, Derrick Henry third, and Keaton Mitchell fourth. So I would bench Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell. All right, we're going to break down this game. The must-starts are at the bottom of the screen. Here's the free player prop tonight, guys. I absolutely love this prop. I'm in on Deontay Foreman tonight. You got to start Deontay Foreman in a lot of spots. I'm starting Deontay Foreman over Chuba Hubbard, for example. I think he smashes over 61.5 rushing yards, and I think he goes for a TD. Not only is this a good matchup on paper for Deontay Foreman against the Panthers, who are second worst against the run. They're allowing the second most fantasy points to running backs this season. We just rattled off earlier in the stream all the running back performances. I mean, we've seen 40, 50-point. We've seen 40-point performances, 50-point performances against this Panthers defense and combined running back points allowed in single games. Tony Jones, guys, back in week 2, who is not even on a 52-man roster right now in the NFL, he had 18 points against the Carolina Panthers. I like Foreman for that reason. I'm also buying into the revenge game narrative here for Deontay Foreman. Guys, Khalil Herbert is out tonight. Foreman got 20 carries last game without Khalil Herbert in. Tyson Bagent cannot be trusted. The Bears are still, with Tyson Bagent starting at home, they're 3.5-point favorites in this game. And a big reason for that is Vegas expects the run game to be efficient. I'm taking the over here for Foreman. I think there's a better chance Foreman goes over 100 rushing yards and then he goes under 61.5 rushing yards. It's part of the reason I like his touchdown prop too. And we are 16-4 on the free player props on these live streams. So absolutely fire in Deontay Foreman into your fantasy lineup and fire in the Deontay Foreman props. I do like the under reception prop too, though, for Foreman. My Walter Picks subscribers out there will know. Actually, we sent, guys, if you do the Walter Picks subscription, you're going to be cashing player props. We sent a push notification the second we put out the props today. I think there was 5 props that got posted in the Walter Picks app today. And literally within 3 minutes One of the lines was taken down on Underdog, which was the under 1.5 receptions line for D'Onta Foreman, which I hopped on. And then also we saw the line for DK Metcalf move drastically. The second, really like within a couple minutes of posting that one. A great sign. We were on some real value there. Hey, Sam, should I do this trade? Kittle, ETN for Kelsey, Brian Robinson, and Jalen Warren. No, I would not do this. I would keep Kittle and ETN. I do like getting Kelsey, of course, but I don't think ETN. ETN, I would argue, is maybe even a little bit more valuable than Kelsey right now. CJ Stroud or Lamar Jackson. Yeah, this is a really, really interesting one. I think I'd lean Stroud with Lamar playing the Browns. But, guys, I told everyone to bench Lamar last time he played the Browns, and he popped off for 4 touchdowns. Lamar's a really, really difficult start sit this week. All right, we got to prioritize the Thursday night start sits, though, because, guys, it is Thursday night, and we got a banger of a game tonight between the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears. Chuba Hubbard, Alexander Madison, Gabe Davis, Nico Collins, Zach Charbonnet got to start 3 of these guys. So Nico Collins has not practiced this week. I don't think you should bank on him. Kenneth Walker is also dealing with injuries this week. I think he's going to end up playing, but there's a chance Charbonnet is in a huge role. Charbonnet, by the way, back-to-back games, has out-snapped Kenneth Walker, but has not out-touched him. Very weird dichotomy going on there in the Seahawks backfield. Both of them kind of cannibalizing each other a bit, and it's not a bad spot for them against the Commanders, though. And then Gabe Davis, he's coming off a donut. Don't think that means we can't start him this week, but I like the first 2 guys the most here, and then I'd probably just wait and see. I think the rest of this is a Sunday morning question. If Nico plays, it's definitely Nico. If Kenneth Walker doesn't play, it's definitely Charbonnet. And if neither of those things happen, Gabe Davis, I think, is in play, so definitely a close call there. I would definitely play Chuba Hubbard over Gus Edwards tonight. Kincaid or Laporta is a close one, not a Thursday night question. I like both these guys a lot, and I actually think I lean Sam Laporta over Dalton Kincaid. The floor is just extremely high for Sam Laporta. I think he's got maybe the second best floor among all tight ends, maybe the best floor among all tight ends on a week without Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews against the Browns. Mark Andrews did do well against the Browns, though, the last time they played. So I think I'd still go Andrews over Laporta, but it's close. It's definitely close. And yeah, I'm starting Chuba Hubbard in PPR tonight. Chuba Hubbard coming off a game where he had 6 targets. He's had back-to-back games with 16 carries. He's clearly the lead back for the Panthers. But I got to admit, I'm a little bit scared of the floor because Chuba Hubbard is going to start. Chuba Hubbard, though, he starts off a little slow. Miles Sanders was very efficient last game. He had one really big play last week. Chuba Hubbard is one slow start away, guys, from being a complete bust in fantasy any given week. So I do think I would play Foreman over him for that reason. I do think Foreman's pretty much a lock for 15-plus carries tonight. That's part of the reason I like him, his props, a decent amount. And part of the reason I think the Bears win. I think DJ Moore is an okay start. He's an okay start. I would start D'Onta Foreman over DJ Moore. I would start Chuba Hubbard over DJ Moore. I'm not starting Cole Kmet over DJ Moore. Even though Cole Kmet's out-targeted him, outscored him the last 2 games fantasy-wise, I'm still going DJ over Kmet. DJ Moore is still the clear top option for the Bears passing attack. He's clearly the most talented player on the Bears offense. The Panthers secondary hasn't been bad, though. It's really not that great of a matchup. Predict should be a low-scoring game, and Tyson Bagent is really just tanking DJ Moore's value. We need Justin Fields to come back for DJ Moore, guys. But yeah, I think DJ Moore's an okay start. He's still going to get minimum 5 targets. He's had at least 3 catches in every single game since week 2. So his floor is okay. His ceiling is still high. DJ Moore is the type of player, guys, that he can take a screen 80 yards for a touchdown. You know, he can create without his team creating around him. So I still think DJ Moore is a fine back-end wide receiver, too. I'd rank him right around wide receiver 30 tonight. So there's definitely a lot of guys I would start over him. You definitely can't start Darnell Mooney. I know there's been some connection there. Why Justin Fields he's out. Justin Fields is out. Chuba or Javonte? Yeah, I'm playing Javonte over Chuba Hubbard and D'Onta Foreman. You got to play Javonte Williams. Guys, Javonte Williams in week 8 had 27 carries. He is all the way back. He gets a pretty decent matchup this week, too. Why do you look like you're taking a mugshot? Appreciate the work you do. I'm actually in the process. This is hilarious. I actually didn't think about the background at all until like 10 minutes before this live stream. And it does look like I'm taking a mugshot. If you're watching live on the YouTube live, maybe I got to pull up the Walter Picks app, add a little bit of something here on the screen. So it's not just me in a mugshot. But yeah, I'm actually mid-moving into a new apartment. So I'll have a new setup coming soon. Hopefully Sunday morning, we'll see. The move always goes a little bit slower than you think. Hey, Sam, hope your night's going well. Moore, Foreman, and Lockett. Got to pick 2. Yeah, I think it's the last 2 here. Definitely Lockett against the Commanders. I think Geno Smith is going to go off. At least the Seahawks passing offense is going to go off. I actually think there's a world where Geno Smith struggles in the first and second quarter, and we even see Drew Lock go off against the Commanders. But either way, Lockett's going to pop off. DK Metcalf, JSN, Lockett, extremely high ceilings this week against the Commanders. Commanders dead last secondary, and they just traded their best 2 pass rushers. Lockett's got to be started. DK Metcalf's got to be started. JSN's got to be started. And then I'm playing Foreman over DJ Moore as well. So you're benching DJ Moore for Lockett and for D'Onta Foreman. All right. We are going to get to a few more of these starts in the YouTube live. Then I will do the last 15 minutes of the live stream on TikTok like I've been doing for the TikTok live subscribers. I do appreciate all the TikTok live subscribers out there. We will turn on TikTok live subscriber only mode, comment only mode in the last 15 minutes to make sure I get to those comments. Jacobs or Hopkins, not a Thursday night question here, but I like both them. I think I lean Hopkins, though. I do like Hopkins matchup this week against the Bucs. We got a trade here. Kyler, Devontae Smith, and Mostert for Kamara and DK. You have Stroud. Yeah, I like this a lot. This feels like also a decent time to be selling Mostert with Achane about to return. DJ Moore, Christian Kirk. Got to be Christian Kirk over DJ Moore for sure. Gibbs or Montgomery. God, I think I'm going to lean Monty over Gibbs just because the touchdown ceiling is higher, but it's definitely a close call. Hawkinson does look like he's going to play, yeah. DJ or Pittman? I'd go Pittman over DJ. I would definitely play DJ over Curtis Samuel. I think I'd play DJ over Devontae Adams too. He's been struggling, and he has not got a great matchup. What is the props tonight? Yeah, so we got a couple. I actually have 2 props. By the way, we are 16-4 on the free player props on this live stream now. Absolutely incredible. And I got 2 props for you, both with D'Onta Foreman, who's in a revenge game against the second worst run defense in the league. You know, you got to love if you're a player playing your former team when your former team is also just terrible at stopping your position specifically. And that's what we're going to see tonight with D'Onta Foreman playing against the Carolina Panthers, his former team. I believe the team that drafted him as well. I could be wrong about that. Over 61.5 rushing yards, over half a total touchdown for Foreman tonight. Guys, the Panthers have stopped basically nobody. They stopped Devin Singletary. That's it. That's the only running back. The only game where they stopped running backs under 15 PPR fantasy points total was that game against the Texans when it was Devin Singletary and Andrew Beck, who actually ended up, I think, vulturing a touchdown in that game from Devin Singletary. So, yeah, we're cashing D'Onta Foreman over 61.5 rushing yards. D'Onta Foreman over half a total touchdown as well. Godwin or DJ Moore? Yeah, I would go Godwin over DJ Moore. I would play Kincaid over Cole Kmet. I would play Sam Laporta over Cole Kmet. And I would play Trey McBride over Cole Kmet too. But other than that, I think you kind of have to be starting Cole Kmet, other than the elite options like Mark Andrews. I'm playing Cole Kmet over George Kittle. For example, D'Onta Foreman, Cooper, or Tank. This is a tough call. It's a tough call with Tank, Nico, and Noah Brown. There's probably going to be no Robert Woods again this week. Nico Collins is dealing with injuries. I think I would play Foreman over Tank if I had to choose right now. I think Foreman over Amari Cooper, honestly, is reasonable too. I think I would go Foreman there. I'm playing Foreman over Chuba Hubbard, yeah. DJ Moore or JSN? God, I think you go JSN. I don't like DJ over half a touchdown. I go DJ or Devontae Adams? I do think DJ over Devontae Adams is reasonable. Tough matchup this week for Devontae Adams against the Jets. Not that this is a super easy matchup for DJ Moore either. All right, guys, if you're watching live on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Guys, if you haven't checked out the Walter Picks app yet, it's what's on the screen right next to me with Chuba Hubbard's game logs. We're seeing that he ran 70% of the dropbacks last week for the Carolina Panthers. Chuba Hubbard was running a route. That's an elite number. That's why it's highlighted in green here. 6 targets. He had over a 15% target share for the first time since week 2. I do worry about his floor still a little bit in a game where he starts slow and Miles Sanders was efficient with a big play last week. Maybe Miles Sanders' usage does tick up. Miles Sanders did get a big contract this offseason from the Carolina Panthers. He's one of the highest paid running backs in the league now. So I wouldn't be shocked any given week to see Miles Sanders' usage increase. But the best way you guys can support me is checking out the Walter Picks app. I do appreciate it. It's going to help you with all of your fantasy and betting decisions. It's going to help you be a smarter, better. All right, we got a Thursday Night Football stat for you before I wrap up the YouTube Live. The Bears are allowing 6.8 yards per passing play. That ranks 29th in the league. Bryce Young, if there was ever a game to show up, it is this game. And it's also why you absolutely need to be starting Adam Thielen tonight. The Carolina Panthers, meanwhile, they're allowing 4.4 yards per passing play. That's 31st in the league. I think I misread this in the initial take here. This actually means that they're allowing some of the fewest yards per play, passing-wise. Both of these secondaries are allowing very few passing yards And that is only reasons to like the running backs in this game even more. It's part of the reason this game has such a low over-under. I actually think I would take the under in this game, and maybe a reason we won't see a Bryce Young performance tonight. I don't think I've seen a single start sit with him, unsurprisingly, as he sits on the waiver wire in over 90% of fantasy leagues. It's pretty laughable to look back not that long ago. Bryce Young confidently being selected over CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson in the NFL draft. I definitely think that was a mistake. And I don't think it's too early to say that. Hey, Sam, thanks for your content. Appreciate you, man. Thoughts on this trade, please. Rashad and Dotson for London and Javonte and Rashad. You already said. I think Rashad's in the first part of this. I would take the Javonte side. I do like Javonte more than Rashad rest of the season. I'm very excited about Javonte off his last game. I think he is the clear top RB now for the Broncos. He had 26 or 27 carries in his last game. Rashad White will not get a game this season with 27 carries. PPR, the usage for Rashad has been elite. I don't think it's like that big of a gap, but yeah, I do like Javonte more than Rashad the rest of the season. All right, guys, if you're watching live on YouTube, make sure you hit the follow button. How do I clear the app's notifications? Brandon, we're actually working on this. This is actually an issue everybody's experiencing. I think this will actually be fixed like in the next week, though. It's been bugging me too. There's no way, Brandon, currently for you to clear the app's notification. Thank you for bringing this up, though, because this is definitely something near the top of my list to make sure we are able to do, because it's been very annoying myself. But very soon, Brandon, it'll just be cleared automatically for you, and it won't be an issue moving forward. We are working on it, I promise. Chuba Hubbard or Madison? Yeah, I would lean Chuba Hubbard over Madison. I'm excited for the floor and ceiling bump Madison will get with Cam Akers being out, but I also think I don't want to get too far ahead of myself there. I do think Ty Chandler will fill in most of that Cam Akers role, and I like the matchup tonight for Chuba more than I like the matchup for Madison. All right, guys, if you're watching live on YouTube, we're going to wrap up the last 15 minutes of this live stream on TikTok, at Walter Picks on TikTok. If I didn't get to your start sit and you're not going to come to the TikTok live, go to the Walter Picks app and get to all your start sit questions. It can get to all your trade questions. It's going to help you with way more than I could possibly help you with. Matt, thanks as always for tuning into the YouTube live. LMAO about the notification. Yeah, the fact that we're getting comments about this, Ben, is definitely a good sign that we need to deal with it. Time is the most valuable thing we have, guys. Thanks for spending some time with me tonight. Enjoy this banger of a game between the Panthers and the Bears. We'll be live still for the next 15 minutes over on TikTok.